I think I lost him.
Well, at least I can camp out here for the night and take a look at this film I found. Here we go. So you're all probably wondering, since Son of Kong was made, why didn't they make a third film? Well, the answer might surprise you. Surprisingly, Merian C. Cooper had ideas to make a third film, as well as some other ideas for the sequel we know today. So let's not waste any time, turn on the projector, and take a look at the new adventures of King Kong. Taking place during the events of the first film, Carl Denham, who would have been played by Robert Armstrong, has captured the giant beast and is shipping him to New York for his big-time show. As they sail through stormy waters, the Venture is damaged off an island in the Malay archipelago. As the crew repair the ship, they are attacked by strange monstrous creatures. With no chance at killing them, they release Kong and have him battle the creatures. But once freed, he storms off into the jungles, and Denham and his crew must once again recapture him. During the success of King Kong, Cooper wanted very much to make a sequel, this time with a larger scale and bigger budget. The original plot was of Denham returning to Skull Island in search of treasure and entering the Great Wall, where the dinosaurs now thrive on. As he and the crew fend off prehistoric life, including a wonderfully conceptualized dinosaur stampede, they would find the treasure in Kiko as the island sinks. With the script in place, he went to RKO to pitch the idea. The studio was all in for it. But there were two major problems. They wanted it out for Christmas of '33, the same year as the original, and wanted the budget cut in half, if not lower than King Kong was. Because of this, Cooper had to eliminate a lot of the scenes on Skull Island, including the majority of the dinosaur scenes. He also went to the old Broadway formula. If you can't make it bigger, then make it funnier. This eventually became Son of Kong, which, inferior to the first film, had a certain charm to it and is still a great sequel. But for Cooper, and especially Willis O'Brien, it was a tough time. Before the movie's release, O'Brien's wife shot both of their sons dead and later killed herself, which for the master of effects, left him in a dark place, as well as Son of Kong having a mediocre criticism and a somewhat poor box office. As for Cooper, it wasn't enough to satisfy him. He decided to make one more sequel, and had even wanted to invest in the film himself, which would have been a spin-off movie of Kong fighting creatures on his way to New York. Robert Armstrong at the time was happy enough to come back after having a great experience on the first two, and as far as we know, both Fay Wray and Bruce Cabot were pretty much out after the first one and had no desire to come back for either sequel. As well, none of the producers were really interested in the idea, since for some, after Son of Kong, the idea was pretty much sucked dried.
Cut his gums up pretty bad.
Oh.
So Cooper decided to quit the concept and move on to making other films, including westerns with director John Ford and the legendary John Wayne. Overall, The New Adventures was a cool concept nonetheless, for it did ask a question that a lot of Kong fans wanted to know, and that was how they got Kong back to New York and display him without notice. While a great way to explain this in a story, as a film it had potential, but not enough to hold interest. I'd give this concept a 6 out of 10. Well, that's a drag. So while The New Adventures of King Kong didn't end up becoming a final product, there were several other short films and parodies that tried to cash in on the original success. And next time, we'll be taking a look at another parody that uses marionettes and men in a suit, simply known as The Lost Island.